Hello everyone, and welcome to our session on how small businesses can harness digital marketing to scale up fast. This session is pre-recorded and is a repeat of the session that we did at Go Digital Live, which was hosted a couple of weeks ago as part of Leeds Digital Festival. So we wanted to share the content with you all, and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe on Trio Media's YouTube channel, and you can go look us up on social media as well. If you do have any questions about any of the content in this recording, please do leave a comment below. So first of all, let's have a look at what does scale up mean to you. So there's lots of different ways that a business could be scaling up. So first of all, it could be a scale up or a startup. So you could be actually just starting out your business. So you wanting to understand, how can I use digital marketing to grow this business that I'm starting? You might already be underway with your business, but actually scale up to you is looking at revenue growth. So you're wanting to generate more income from your business. It could be that you're looking to improve your profitability. So actually you could be doing well already, but you're looking to scale and really kind of widen that gap of profit coming into the business. You might be trying to reach a new audience, such as new geographies, a new target demographic. Scaling up could mean growing your headcount, going to new offices, or it could be about launching new products and services. So we're going to go into detail about each of those different ways that you could be looking to scale up. And then we'll break it down into how digital marketing can help you with all those things. So first of all, when we're looking at a startup, the first thing that we recommend doing is really using your network whenever you can. If you're starting out, think about who can I talk about my business with. So the key thing here, I guess, is remember the social and the networking element of social networking. That's what this was all about initially when the social channels began. It's about getting your name out there and using your network to socialize. So go out and tell your friends and family about what it is that you're doing. Set up social media accounts, get on there and kind of share more about products, services or the business that you have. It's also really important at the startup phase to think about your online presence. So you're going to need somewhere online that people can come and find out more about you. So that could just be a Facebook page, but for most businesses it's most likely going to involve a website, or it could be an Amazon store or an eBay store if you're looking to sell products online. But really thinking initially about what is that online space that people can come find me and they can find out more about my products and services. The rise of the internet has given us so many opportunities in so many ways to tap into other resources. So, traditionally you would have had an office or a store, physical store, and the only way people could interact with you was physically. Whereas now we've got the opportunity for people to interact with us digitally as well. So we've got all of these online tools. Everything on the screen are places you can shop online. So from Google to Amazon, eBay, Shopify, not on the high street, Etsy, Pinterest, Instagram, all these places now are opportunities to sell. So we should really be thinking about how many of those we can capitalise and sell our products on. Pinterest is one of the more recent ones where it's very much now a shopping channel, whereas it used to be that place that you would go and you would look and find out, look at pictures, get a bit of inspo, but it is very, very shopping driven now. So these are all opportunities for you to go and sell your products to other people. And obviously that focus is specifically around if you have products to sell, but you could be a kind of online transactional or non-transactional business. So if we have a look at that increasing revenue element that we spoke about, your sales don't have to happen online for you to be able to grow your digital presence to drive sales. So for Trio Media, for example, we're a B2B organisation. We deal with other businesses. We're not selling online at all, but we rely solely on our digital marketing and our online presence to generate sales. So, we have a great website that we drive traffic to through SEO, PPC, social media, and from there we generate a conversion as a lead, and we then convert that sale offline. So all of these things that we're going to talk about today are just as applicable to if you're wanting to go and convert a sale offline as it is through an online sale if you're selling products through an e-commerce store. So yeah, absolutely, digital marketing can result in 100% of your offline sales. We're not just looking at transacting online. However, e-commerce does account for around 30% of all UK retail sales. So if you are in that retail business and that's a space that you're working in, you really do need to be thinking about e-commerce, and I believe that is set to grow year on year. In the next 5 years, I think the balance will be well over the 50% mark, more in favour of e-commerce, and over the past year especially, we've seen the rise of e-commerce grow massively when people were stuck at home, and the convenience of it, if you're out at work, you can get orders delivered to the workplace. That's absolutely something that's set to grow. So yeah, I really do encourage, if you do have products and you're not selling them online, to get them online, because you're going to be missing out on a big share of the market otherwise. I think a key point to make here as well around the increased revenue thing is that it doesn't have to mean you need more customers. We can increase revenue with the customers that we have, and we can still use digital marketing to complement that. So again, the best examples I can give you is talking about Trio Media ourselves. We're currently going through a phase where we're looking to increase revenue from our existing customer base. So we're still getting a lot of organic new business leads coming through, but we're not proactively kind of fighting to go after new business stuff. We want to grow our revenue from the clients we've got. Everyone knows it's a lot easier to sell to someone that you've got an existing relationship with versus going out to find somebody new. But you can still use your digital marketing to complement that. So, are you using emails, for example, to add value to your existing customer base? Are you sending out things to let them know about other products and services you offer that they might not know about? You can still use social media and advertising and retargeting to target your existing customers. For us, we've got a relationship with every single customer because of the type business we have. You could be B2B, but still you could have so many customers. It's hard to have an individual relationship with each one. So then you need to rely on digital marketing to allow you to speak to all of those people. So you can think about ways of using social media to engage with your existing customers, or using your website. For example, if you've got online resources that you could share with your clients that help you to add value, that you could add to your website, could you create dedicated social media groups on LinkedIn or on Facebook where you can go and engage specifically just with your clients, and you can use those tools as opportunities to then upsell. So yeah, a lot of different ways that you can think about this, and it comes down to, an example that I like to use is Amazon would not have been worrying about their revenue. Amazon completely monopolised the e-commerce space, but they were still thinking, how can we increase sales and be more efficient? So they introduced the one-click checkout. So it's not like people weren't checking out before, but by making that process easier through their digital presence, they're now generating more sales than they were before. So these are the type of things that you can be thinking about when you're looking to increase your revenue and how digital marketing can help. We will be going in more detail into all the different digital marketing channels, and I'll give you tips and advice on how to use them so you know how they can help you grow these areas. But we just want to look first of all at what the different scale-up options might mean to you. So we've then got improving profitability, and obviously this flows on quite nicely from the increasing revenue side of things, and certainly tying in well with if you're doing it with the existing clients. So you're not having to pay any more to acquire a new client, so naturally it's more profitable if you can increase your sales with them. Also showing and adding value. I've just mentioned about doing things like, have you got a client area on your website? This is something that we're talking about with one of our clients at the moment, who's a telco provider. They want to create a client area on their website where people can come and kind of self-service a little bit more. So the investment in that is going to massively free up their account management team. There's also then an opportunity in that online space when they're driving their customers there to upsell, to advertise to them. And by also offering this service and doing something that their competitors aren't doing, it allows them to look at potentially increasing their prices or charging more because of the fact that they're offering a value-added service to their customers. So these are the type of things that we could be thinking about doing it, using digital marketing to improve your customer experience. So then moving away from financially motivated reasons to scale up, and we can look at other areas such as if you're looking to reach a new audience. So that could be anything from like geographically, you want to branch out to another area like nationally, or you want to reach new countries or whatever it is, or it could be new demographics, we want to reach a new age group or a new gender or a new group with different interests. And so anytime you're looking to do something like specific about audience, I really recommend social media as one of the best places to start, because of the fact that these social platforms know so much about the audience and the people. So first of all, looking at where it is that you're trying to reach, we would obviously look at which is going to be the right social media platforms for you. So if you're very business focused, it's probably more likely to be LinkedIn. If it's more consumer, then we're looking at Facebook, Instagram, but obviously just talking quite generalist at the moment. But yeah, I think it's something like Facebook has 5,000 pieces of data on every single Facebook user. So that's an opportunity for businesses to tap into and use that data to advertise to. So I would really consider how you can tap into that data to test out those audiences. As well, sometimes you don't even need to have a final product or service or solution. You just know you want to test the market, and by putting something out on social media, gaining a bit of engagement and traction, it will allow you to do just that. As an example, Trio Media, we're based in Leeds, but we have quite a few clients in London and we're looking to grow to London. So we want to reach that as a new audience. So we've set up a London address and London phone number. We'll add that information to Google My Business, we'll add it to our website, and then predominantly we're going to use that to share out on social media. That's an area we're covering. We're doing a lot more posts where we're going to tag ourselves in London so we appear in those searches. So very easily we have presence in London now without having to do too much. So that's an example of a way that you can really easily start tapping into a new audience. You may then be looking at growing your headcount. So one of our mottos at Trio Media, we use social media massively. We think it's really important to practice what we preach, and so we're very active on social media. It's a big part of what we do. So we like to say that our social media, you should feel like you either want to work with us or for us. So our social media platform is a great way for us to grow our headcount and get potential candidates applying for roles, because of the fact that we share out how fun it is to work here, what it's like, and we then get people messaging us asking if there's any opportunities to come work here. So again, social media is such a great way to tap into that. Obviously you're going to do your standard things if you're looking to grow your headcount, like you're going to put the job roles on your website, whatever else. But some people think, oh, I've put the job on my website and no one's applying. But what have you done to promote that, and what have you done to make people feel like that's a role they want to apply for? So social media can be an absolutely amazing platform for you to help grow that demand for people to want to come work with you, and to get people applying for jobs. And then the final area, and I appreciate this isn't an exhaustive list of all the different ways you may choose to scale up, but the final area we're going to look at was around launching new products and services. So using digital marketing, you could literally launch a new product or service instantly. And the example I just gave around us with our London office, like overnight we're in London, so it can be the same with a new product or service. If you create content about it online, it's out there in the world. And so something I would encourage with anyone who's like a product-based service, and if it's going to be quite costly for you to invest in the production, the manufacturing, the design, any elements that you control to bring that to market. What you can actually even do is you can list that for sale before you have it to gain interest. So you can put things on pre-order, or you can start promoting it online. Say, is this something you would buy? You can do little polls on Instagram, for example, to gain an idea of whether you're going in the right direction. So yeah, when you've got something to launch, again, I know I'm kind of heavily focused on social media, but it's one of the best ways to just get out there in front of people. So yeah, you don't have to have a finished solution. You can just advertise it, and then you can use social media essentially to do some market research. Would this be of interest? Yes, no. Take people on that journey with you. We're thinking of doing this. What do you like? What do you prefer? People would love to get involved, and it will create a load of engagement for you. They'll get involved at those initial stages, and then you know exactly where to invest your money in what you're going to bring to market. So then when we're looking at all of this and we're talking about these different ways to scale up, it's really important to look at how we're going to measure success. So, want you to take away value from this session and to feel like, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. How am I going to know in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months time that this has actually paid off and worked? So I've included here some different options that you may choose to measure if this is going to work for you. So for example, you're going to look at sales, and you can compare that month on month, year on year, and plot out the growth. At Trio Media, that's a metric that we look at quite often. We've just finished our financial year, so I'm pleased to say our revenue's up by 39% against last year, profits up by 43% against last year. I think last year it was up 49% from the year before. So those are metrics that, as a business owner, are really important to me, and I make sure I'm measuring. Then obviously, revenue and profit, as I've spoken about there. If you're looking to grow your people, then you're going to look at headcount as a metric. You might look at number of offices that you've got, the number of followers. This is really going to be dependent on how you're looking to grow. But the most important thing is making sure you do have metrics in place, because you need to know that what you're doing is working. You can also look at things like reviews, website traffic, lifetime value of a customer. I've mentioned how important looking at revenue and profit growth year on year is for us, but also these are the metrics I like. I want to know how many Instagram followers we've got. It's a good sign that we're doing the right things when that's growing. We all get really hung up on TikTok and Reels views as well, so that's a key metric that we look at, because we're creating a lot of content. We need to know that content is worthwhile, and we can use figures on the views to then decide, did that content work? Where should we invest our time? So just can't stress enough how important it is to ensure that anything you're doing, you're going to bring in the right metrics so you can measure it and know that it's working for you. So we've kind of spent the session so far obviously looking at the scale-up at the scale-up angle and the different areas that you're going to look at for that. But then obviously a lot of this session is based around using digital marketing to scale up. So what actually is digital marketing? So from my perspective, digital marketing is the promotion of a brand, product or service anywhere online. So that could be on a website, on social media, via email, anything that requires the internet essentially to do, or a technical device. That is digital marketing. It's really important that businesses think of digital marketing as a natural part of their strategy. I mean, it is a bit of a frustration that actually we still talk about digital marketing and not just marketing, because in our eyes, marketing is digital. The fact is we're all connected all the time. I've got a smartwatch that definitely telling advertisers things about me. Everyone's got a smartphone, so marketing is digital because it's in our hands all the time. So really thinking about that and putting yourself in the shoes of your customer. What do I do? How do I consume marketing from other businesses? If it's online, then that's definitely an area you need to be focusing on. So then we look at, if we're using digital marketing, we're going to start tapping into that. How can we use this to scale? So first of all, a really important thing is having a great website. We spoke earlier on in the session about having some form of online presence, but 9.9 times out of 10 that's going to be a website. You need that presence, and it is an area that we often see a lot of businesses skip past. and they think, oh, do you know what, I'll create something cheap, a family friend can do it, or I'll build something on Wix, because I just need something, and then I'll get on with all the other things. But actually, the experience on your website, people don't buy from websites that they don't like. So having a good website is really important. It's your virtual shopfront, whether you're a transactional or non-transactional business, and it's so important to the success of your growth online. Something I say a lot is there's a big difference between what you want to say and what people want to hear. So again, a common mistake that I see is a lot of people will spend their whole website, all the content on the website is going me, 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 me. This is how great we are, these are our values, this is all of this stuff, but it's not talking to the client, it's not saying you. This is everything you need to know, this is all about you, this is how we help you, this is how we solve a problem for you. So when you start looking at your website and making that switch in terms of the way that you're creating the content, that's where you start adding real value. So we actually at Trio, we have an exercise that we've devised called Trio's Top 20 Reasons exercise. And what this is, I'll talk you through it and encourage everyone to kind of try this at home. So it's broken down into 4 areas. So the first thing is to write down 5 reasons people buy from you. So that could be anything from you offer very competitive pricing to you've got the best reviews, you're the best in the market, your service is the best, whatever that is. But think about this from the view of the customer, actually I want to know why you are winning the deals, not just this is our list of USPs, so that's what it is, we say we're great at this, that and the other. I'm not looking for that, we're looking to get into the nitty-gritty of why are you winning deals. So write down those 5 reasons. Then write down 5 reasons people don't buy from you. So why are you losing business? So again, if you're an online store, is the checkout process too complicated? Are your prices too high? Are your competitors offering offers that's better than you? If you're not transactional, actually, is it down to a sales relationship? Is it down to the process taking too long? Whatever those things are, write them down. Then write down 5 reasons people come back and become a repeat customer. And that shouldn't be confused with 5 reasons people buy from you, because actually the reasons they come back can be totally different. You might offer great aftercare service, might be because you offer great warranties, or the quality of the product was even better than expected and people wanted more of it. And finally, write down 5 reasons people don't come back. So again, this was an important one because they were a customer. These people have been a customer and they've chosen not to come back and buy from you. So again, what is that reason? Why don't people come back? Did they not enjoy the service? Was the quality of the product oversold? So it wasn't as good in person as they thought it was at the time. So really thinking about that. And then once you've got these reasons for each of them, start looking at how you can create content around that. So especially the negative side of things, the reasons people don't buy from you, look at objection handling that. So actually, are they misconceptions? Do people not buy from you because they think something takes too long, or they believe that they could have got it better elsewhere, or whatever that may be? And think about creating content that answers that. And as well, when I say creating content, that doesn't just mean the written word. So yes, it can mean text on the page, but content can also be videos, it can be imagery. So for example, the reason people might not buy from you is, say you're a fashion retailer and you're aimed at an older audience, but actually you've used 20-something models. Visually, your target audience are coming on your website and they believe they're not in the right place. They're going, this isn't for me. So just by imagery alone and being more representative through imagery, that answers an objection that they know they're in the right place. So start looking at that. And again, the reasons people buy, you might find that that's then totally different content to the content you had on your website about why people should buy from you, because you went with the marketing fluff, and then actually you go away and you do this research and you're tough on yourself and you use your sales teams and you use other people involved, and you find, okay, now we know the actual reason, this is what we need to tell people about. So it's a really, really useful exercise to help you shape your website. It can also help you shape a lot of other areas of your marketing, such as your social media and how you should be talking to people online. Another key part of your website is to ensure that you've got clear calls to action throughout. So what that means is if you expect someone to take a certain action on your website, we need to guide them to that as easily as possible. Very common mistake is, you expect inquiries through your website, but you hide away your contact us page, and you expect people to find their own way there. Instead of in the content or on the key landing pages where people arrive, saying, please get in touch with us, here are our contact details. So it sounds really simple, but actually it's a very common mistake that people make. So we need to really spell out to people what that call to action is. We've also found through the past 4 years of building over 150 websites that having a contact form on the page as far high up as you can go on the right hand side of the page will convert far better than anywhere else. So if the call to action for your website is you want someone to fill in a form, make sure that you follow that and we get the contact form on the page. If you're looking for an online sale, again, is it easy? Can you have a one-click add to basket, or do they have to click through and through before they can add? So think about simplifying that process and making it really clear. If you're not asking someone what you want them to do on your site, they're not doing it. So you need to ask and you need to put it in their face. So we then move on to social media and all the popular social media platforms that you'll all be aware of. So I've mentioned it so much already, but this is one of the best ways to target your audience directly because of all the information that you have available at your fingertips. So a motto we have at Trio Media, again, kind of different one to what I mentioned earlier, but is document, don't create. So a lot of people find social media a bit of a pain, thinking, how am I going to find the time to create content and to put it out there? And it's kind of their biggest bugbear of, it's just the side of the business I can't manage. Whereas once you take away that mindset of creating content and instead you think about just documenting what's going on, you then naturally have content available at your fingertips. So if you're going to start doing anything today, it's listen to those 3 words and document, don't create. I actually, because we did speak this live a few weeks ago at an event, I followed some of the accounts of people that came to that, and I've seen them doing just that. People showing the manufacturing process of what's happening, signing off on a new brochure, and their engagement has massively improved because they're just getting content out there. It's also really important when we're thinking about social media now to think video. I know video can be very daunting, and we will go into that in a little bit more detail as well, but it's just a necessary evil now as part of social media. So really thinking about getting comfortable with getting in front of the camera. The example on the screen, we were doing an event, it was like, right, I just need to record a quick video and get in front of the camera and talk about it. There was no big production, it was filmed on an iPhone, but it created content that we could share on our social channels. So really thinking about how easy you can actually make it when you remove those barriers. With social media as well, because of how much data they have on people, there's also loads of statistics and analytics that we can use to help inform our decisions and to shape what we do with our social media strategies going forward. So use those stats to give you a better understanding of what you should be doing. Look at, I mentioned earlier, like we look at the views on our videos. So look at that in terms of what worked, what didn't. This video had loads of views, this video didn't get very many. Let's do more of this thing. Or let's take all the elements that went into that and split them out and try them. So that can come from what time you should post, the type of content you should post. There is no one size fits all for social media. I can't wave a magic wand. I can't tell you if you post at this time, on this day, this type of content, that it's going to work for you, because it totally depends on your industry. But the good thing is you actually will be able to find that out for yourself once you get started and you start doing that content. So yeah, try again and just test things out, see what works. Another key point with social media is about deciding what you want your page to be about so that you can create value to your audience. Is it there to be educational? Should it be fun? Should it be serious? What's your tone of voice on social media? So it can be different to your overall corporate tone of voice, but you still need to think about, it gives you a bit of direction when you're creating content of like, does this work? Does this fit in with what we're trying to do? At Trio, we do a lot of fun stuff, but we want it to be fun because it fits into our motto around you either want to work with us or for us. We want people to think this is a great place to work, they have loads of fun, and it's a great bunch of people to work with. So to us, being fun is a really important side of it. But also we want to be educational because we want people to understand we're experts in our field, we know what we're doing, and so we want to share our advice and our knowledge with others. It's also important to think about the fact that you've got the opportunity to use paid advertising on social media as well. So a lot of what I've said covers off the organic side, but it can be hard to achieve organic growth. Obviously, we could go into the depth of all about social media and different tactics you can use to grow yourself organically. But the way that you'll truly tap into the data that these channels have on you is through the paid side, because you can actually choose, I want to target this audience, this age range, that have these interests, that are based in this location, and I want to target them with an ad about my business. So it can be such a great way at quite a cost-effective rate to get in front of your audience, but obviously it involves just putting your hand in your wallet. So I mentioned already about video, and when you think social, think video. Video should be a core part of your marketing strategy. So we've just launched our 3-in-3 YouTube series that we do every week. We also create videos for our Instagram pages and our social media channels. So when we're thinking about trying to reach people, video is going to give us much better engagement. But it doesn't have to be difficult. You can get started, it doesn't have to be expensive. Again, every smartphone has got a camera, so you can film something on your smartphone, and it's just about getting in front of the camera and making it happen. People engage with people, that's how we like to interact, so anything that's got people in gets far better engagement than anything else. And you've got all these video channels to tap into now, such as YouTube, and YouTube have launched YouTube Shorts, which is very similar to Reels now. We've got Instagram Reels, we know Facebook is launching Reels as well, all the other Instagram video tools, we've got TikTok. So these platforms are here to stay, so we have to be thinking about video when we're thinking about our marketing strategy. Then moving away from social media and looking at other places that you can advertise and promote your business. So everyone knows, we say Google it, when we're thinking of something. Google has a monopoly on the search market. I think 90% of searches online go through Google. So as much as, yes, there are other search platforms out there like Bing and Yahoo, we're not really concerning ourselves too much with them. And the tools that Google provide versus any search engine, any other search engine, is huge. So we've got opportunities to create a Google My Business listing. Any business that you create, you can get found locally if you create a Google My Business listing that will then create a map listing for you, and you can get reviews. I believe 46% of searches on Google are local, so people are searching for local businesses. So by having a Google My Business page, that allows you to start appearing in those local searches. Having that page as well then gives you the opportunity to start collecting reviews, and reviews are really important to help grow credibility and to gain new customers. And also, having good reviews does help with your SEO. So negative reviews are a negative ranking factor. So if you do have a lot of bad reviews, that will impact how well you show in Google. So really thinking about that search presence, because ultimately the first place people go is to Google. And as much as I've said a lot about social media is a great way to go and outwardly promote yourself and let people know what it is you do, but it's creating awareness. Whereas when we're on Google and when we're in search, there's intent there. Someone has a need for what you offer because they've come and they've searched for it. So that then becomes a lot more powerful for you to be able to tap into. So start thinking about the keywords, for example, that you would like to be found for. If your audience is searching something, what are they searching? Is your website then optimized for those search terms? Do you talk about, do you have content related to those keywords? Do you have pages about those keywords? If you don't, that's a really great place to kind of get started with SEO is creating content around the search terms that people are looking for online. You can also use Google Ads to advertise your business, so actually getting to the top of Google overnight by paying for that space. So this is something that is very popular that people do. So if your website isn't currently being found organically, but you want to tap into people that are going and searching for your product, then paying to advertise and to appear on one of those top spaces can be a great way to start generating leads. It can be costly, and again, I can't tell you exactly how much that's going to cost because per industry it can vary wildly, but it is a great way. Someone comes to us and they want to generate leads immediately. Google Ads is probably the direction we're going to focus them on because we know we can start getting them pretty quickly from people that have the intent to buy already. So I've mentioned this and kind of alluded to it through talking about paid social and the paid Google Ads, but getting found does come at a price. This session isn't how you can use digital marketing to scale up fast for free. This session is about giving you actually the tools that you need to be aware of that will help you grow your business. And if you want to grow, I do suggest investing in kind of paid advertising or paid social because it will get you results far quicker than anything you could do organically. The one thing I would say though is to not get so hung up on the budget and what you're paying, but instead is on your return on ad spend or your return on investment. So actually if you can see for every £1 I spend I get £5 back, spend 10 grand, spend 100 grand, you're going to get it back 5 times in return. So instead of thinking, oh but yeah I'm spending £1 grand a month, I'm spending 10 grand, you can see the return. That's the amazing thing about digital marketing, everything is measurable. You will exactly be able to see where you spend every pound of your money and what it has generated from you in return. So really, recommend getting to grips with the analytics, getting to understand the metrics that are important to you, that you want to measure, and the tools you can use to measure it, and then looking at that over kind of budget and what it is that you're spending. So a couple of other things here. So I wanted to just talk for a minute about PR. So PR has been something traditionally that's been an offline form of marketing, but actually as everything else has gone digital, so has PR. So, digital publications, a lot of places don't print as much anymore because everyone's reading it online. So we have an amazing opportunity here to start tapping into getting found online through working with publications and getting mentions of your business, getting links back to your website from these pages. So, a great way you can get started is you can reach out to journalists who've spoken about something relative to your industry and say, I would love for you to consider speaking to me if you're ever going to cover that topic again, or would you consider adding something to the article you've already published, and could I have a link back to my website? So you can go and start actually having those conversations yourself. You can also go and offer to write guest blog posts on websites and say, well, we would love to talk about this topic. If we create some content for you, can we send it over? Again, always ensure you include the all-important link back to your website. But there's lots of ways you can get started. You can also just publish press releases on different online submission forms. A lot of local publications or sector-specific ones, you can go and just have a press release and submit it to them. There might be a cost involved, but again, if that's a way of getting you seen by a whole audience of people you wouldn't have been in front of otherwise, and also if we gain a backlink back to your website, which helps improve your domain authority, then it's multi-purpose in terms of the benefits that you're going to be able to reap from it in return. We've also then got the communication channels, how are we going to speak to our customers? A lot of what we've spoken about is very much about pushing out into the world. But when we've got customers engaged or prospects engaged, what different tools can we use to communicate with them? So again, email has been around for a long time, but it's certainly not dead just yet. I'm seeing email work really well when done right. It just needs a lot of consideration. But we should also consider that email isn't the only digital form of communicating with someone. So, tapping into SMS or WhatsApp. So many people now, you probably noticed this on websites you might have been at, have a little WhatsApp chatbot at the bottom now, so you can WhatsApp somebody straight away. So it's bringing that straight into the tools that people are using to talk about anyway. So instead of relying on people having to go over to their email inbox and checking it out there, if you have, if you tap into those channels that people are on 24/7, you've got a much better chance of differentiating and staying in touch with people by a channel that people are using anyway. So then how do you get started? We've spoken about a lot today, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but if I was to give you some tips on what you could do to get started with your digital marketing strategy in order to scale up, what would they be? So first of all, define your audience and decide where they're going to be and how to target them. So if your audience is people in the business world, you're probably going to be more looking on LinkedIn, although it's not exclusive to that, because actually people running small businesses, if their clients are on Facebook and Instagram, they're actually spending more time on Facebook and Instagram. So even though they're business owners, we shouldn't necessarily think we have to go advertise to them on LinkedIn. We might find that we have better success on Facebook and Instagram for them. So really, getting under the skin of who is this for, who is our target audience, and where are they spending their time, because that is where we will then go and target them. Then we should look at defining a budget. So, you absolutely will have to spend some money, but your budget could be £50. Ideally it's going to be more than that, but, really decide what can I spend, and then you tie that up with, where are my audience? So then you start looking at how can I spend this money in that space so that you're spending it in the right areas that's going to generate return. And then, tip 3, just go for it. I'm a really big advocate of just getting on with something. I find that the biggest barrier for a lot of people is their own mindset, this feeling like this is going to be too difficult, I don't know where to start, but just go for it, produce something, put yourself out there, and you're going to be doing better than the version of you that wasn't doing that. There's also loads of great online resources, so if you want to skill up more in this area, if you want to know more about it, you can go and look online at HubSpot, SEMrush, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn. They actually all have a ton of resources around digital marketing. So if you're just dipping your toe in, you can start looking at more by looking at those online resources. But then if you still feel like you need help, then there's also agencies such as ourselves that are here to help. So Trio Media, we're a digital marketing agency based in Leeds and London, and we design and build websites. We do SEO, so search engine optimization, pay-per-click, social media, video, content writing, branding, and a whole lot more. So if you are looking for someone to support your digital marketing strategy, we would love to have a chat with you, and we'd especially love to hear from you if you found us via this video. So please do reach out. We always offer a free digital audit to anyone getting in touch. So if you want to know what's working, what's not, you've tried dabbling with a few things, but you're not really sure where you should be focusing your time, we'll always take a strategic approach to reviewing your account. We'll tell you what you should be doing, and then obviously how we can help support you in that. So thank you if you've made it this far in the session. Please do leave us a little comment below to let us know that you watched all the way to the end, and like I say, we will answer any questions if you do leave us them in the comments. You'll also find links to our social media channels and our website if you want to get in touch with us, and thank you everyone for joining.